Rhea Ripley finally reunites with WWE partner after being forced to split months ago. Hello guys. Welcome to my channel, I am Elena. Have a nice day. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Rhea Ripley has finally reunited with her former partner. The team is back together after months apart. Rhea Ripley has finally reunited with a longtime partner for a match. This comes after the stars were forced to split months ago after they left Judgment Day. They stayed together to deal with the chaos of their former group, and after emerging victorious and resolving everything that came out of it, the stars had to be split up. Damian Priest was sent to SmackDown and was thus forced to split from Rhea Ripley, who still had to remain on Raw. Since then, they have crossed paths, but the Terror Twins have not had the chance to reunite. That changed tonight on WWE SmackDown, as the two joined together and announced that they were part of the same team again. Priest has been having trouble with Zelina Vega and Aleister Black, and that trouble has disrupted his time on SmackDown. However, after crossing paths with Ripley before Survivor Series, things changed. Ripley had an idea, she had said, when they came across each other on the previous week's SmackDown, and that's exactly what happened. The two stars are now together and are going to be facing Aleister Black and Zelina in a match for next week's episode. Both stars will be looking to cement their reunion with an immediate, huge mixed tag team win. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest reuniting as a team could be great for both of them. Now that Ripley and Priest are back together, they may have found what they were looking for. While Ripley had the support of Iyo Sky, Priest has mostly been alone. However, that changed now with Ripley in his corner. The two stars reuniting might mean a new faction is being formed if Iyo Sky also joins, adding to both of their strengths. 3 reasons why Rhea Ripley officially reunited with Damian Priest on WWE SmackDown. After teasing a reunion last week, Rhea Ripley officially joined forces with Damian Priest, reforming the Terror Twins on the December 5th edition of WWE SmackDown. The two former Judgment Day members are set to face Aleister Black and Zelina in a mixed tag team match next week on the Blue brand. Priest cut a pre-recorded promo on the show this week, issuing a warning to Black and Zelina. In this listicle, we will take a look at 3 reasons why Ripley reunited with Priest on WWE SmackDown. Damian Priest vs. Aleister Black feels relevant again. The feud between the two stars was seemingly built on a rocky foundation, as it felt forced in the beginning. Their last man standing match helped raise the credibility of their storyline, and it received an even bigger boost with the involvement of Zelina. While it briefly seemed like they would get involved in a feud for the WWE Championship with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, their storyline has now taken a new direction. The involvement of Rhea Ripley and Zelina has made the feud more personal, and it has instantly made it a more interesting watch. The Terror Twins were extremely dominant in the ring during their feud against Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan last year, and could produce the same performance during their upcoming match against Black and Zelina. To help SmackDown get a boost, the Blue brand has been in decline in terms of ratings and fan perception over the past few months. The lack of star power on the show has been criticized time and time again, and having one of the biggest stars in WWE in Rhea Ripley make the switch could quickly help the show receive more attention. Regardless of whether their feud continues after the mixed tag team match next week, there is clearly more incentive for fans to tune into the show. During their last man standing match on the October 10th edition of SmackDown, Zelina helped her husband win the match by interfering. Since then, her presence has helped the former AEW star gain the advantage in his feud against the Archer of Infamy. To settle their issues once and for all, it seemed like the right call for Priest to ask for help from Rhea Ripley, with whom he has a great relationship. He now has the upper hand with the most dominant superstar in the WWE Women's Division on his team. Dominic Mysterio credits his wife for encouraging him to begin wrestling training. Credits his wife for encouraging him to start his wrestling training when he was wrestling with his own thoughts. Speaking in a new video uploaded on WWE's YouTube channel, reigning AAA Mega Champion Dominic Mysterio looked back at the time when he dropped out of college and contemplated a decision to become a pro wrestler. Dominic Mysterio noted that it was his wife, Marie Juliette, who encouraged him to move to Tampa for a while to start his training when he was struggling with making a decision. I was around 260 pounds, just lost. My wife, now girlfriend at the time, she knew it, and I told her, there's this opportunity, might go train in Tampa for 6 months. I was like, but I don't really want to do it. I don't want to leave. And I just remembered I started crying, just fuck. Bawling up. She looks at me and she was like, Dom, you have to go. She was like, you gotta do this. Dominic Mysterio said. Dominic Mysterio reacted to Cody Rhodes, calling him the future of WWE. During a recent appearance on ESPN First Take, Dominic Mysterio reacted to undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes, calling him the future of WWE. He was thankful to get that stamp of approval from Rhodes and even likened him to a big brother. I feel like I'm just getting started, you know, Dom said. I started during the pandemic in 2020. The first half of my career, I had no fans. So now, leading into this, we get crowd reactions. For me, I live off that dot. And being able to, like you said, the future of WWE, and hearing Cody say that, Cody's like that big brother who goes off to college. You don't really see him all the time, but you get excited when he comes back to town. You want that stamp of approval from him. It's really cool to hear that from him. It's a blessing, man. I'm just fortunate to be able to do my thing, Dominic Mysterio said. Breaking. WWE officially announces huge team has reunited on SmackDown. Damian Priest reacts. A huge team has now reunited on WWE SmackDown, and Damian Priest has reacted to it. The star had a huge announcement. On this week's episode of WWE SmackDown, it was confirmed that Ripley had finally reunited with Priest in an official announcement on the show. Priest had been battling the combined forces of Zelina Vega and Aleister Black alone, but it was difficult as Vega got in his way every time. Now, with Ripley by his side, the entire equation has changed. Priest posted about it as well, and said that Rhea Ripley had a really good idea. The Terror Twins are now very much back and set to take on Black and Vega. Depending on the outcome, this might turn into a long-term partnership as well. Given that Ripley is a Raw star, they may need to transfer her to SmackDown if this turns out to be a long-term plan for the team. Rhea Ripley has a big feud of her own aside from Damian Priest. The stars have been separated for quite some time now. Rhea Ripley is also involved in a big feud of her own, as she has teamed up with Io Sky to go after Asuka and Kairi Sane to get back the women's tag team titles. Also involved in this are her former allies Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, as well as the newly formed team of Nia Jax and Lash Legend. On Raw, things got even more chaotic with the return of Liv Morgan, as she put her own claim on the women's tag team titles as well. It remains to be seen where this goes, but Ripley will have to split her attention between that rivalry and the one with Damian Priest. Finn Balor gets new name ahead of WWE SmackDown. Finn Balor has been pushed forward on WWE Raw over the past few weeks, and could be teasing some kind of turn after Liv Morgan's return. The former Universal Champion has recently taken to Instagram, where he has given himself a new name, Corporate Finn, while standing outside of WWE's corporate offices. Finn Balor has given himself a number of names over the years, but it seems that he's made the move into corporate now that he's been to the offices. Balor won't be on SmackDown this week, but he will be part of next week's episode of Raw, which is the final stop on the way to Saturday night's main event, which will see John Cena be part of his final match. Tonight's episode of SmackDown decides who will face Cena between Gunther and LA Knight, who are the finalists of the Last Time Is Now tournament that's been going on for several weeks. Finn Balor's reaction to Liv Morgan's WWE return and the way she has been controlling the Judgment Day could now be leading towards some sort of issue within the group. The former world champion has been part of Judgment Day for several years and is the only remaining original member of the group. Despite this, it seems that he's overlooked because of Morgan and Dominic Mysterio, which could be an issue for them in the future. Balor is a former world champion in his own right, alongside JD McDonough, and it seems that he hasn't been pushed in the direction of him being handed another shot. Morgan has returned and seems to be pushing the women in Judgment Day towards the Women's Tag Team Championships, whilst she is heading towards the Women's World Championship herself.